Talking about the G23, I want to address one of the prominent members of the G23, and he's really now, it's a curious case, as I call it, and I said this, in a promotional video about the show as well. It's the curious case of Dr. Shashi Tharoor. He has publicly undercut the Congress party's official line again and again. The latest one being just earlier this week, the Congress MP from Kerala sparked off a fresh point of friction with his party bosses after he praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi's speech at the Ramnath Goenka lecture that happened earlier this week. Now, sharing detailed insights, Mr. Tharoor quoted the Prime Minister in his speech, talking about India's constructive impatience for development. He highlighted the Prime Minister's call for a 10-year national mission to revive pride in India's heritage, its languages, its knowledge systems. And add to that, he also skipped a meeting called by the Congress leadership to review the contentious special intensive revision exercise that is slated for the next 12 states, all of which has predictably now irked the Congress party leadership. Now, there is a pattern here. This is not the first time that Dr. Tharoor has praised either the Prime Minister or the BJP. It's not recent either. In fact, it goes all the way back to 2014 when Mr. Modi first became Prime Minister. Dr. Tharoor at that time had said that it would be churlish to ignore Prime Minister Modi's inclusive outreach. Just earlier this year, he praised Prime Minister Modi's leadership during Operation Sindoor, calling him a prime asset for India. That prompted criticism from party colleagues. Despite all the speculation, Tharoor has repeatedly clarified that he has no intention of leaving the Congress and joining the BJP. But Congress insiders have been uneasy with some of the recent comments that Dr. Tharoor has been making, with some even suggesting that he should leave the party if he no longer believes in the Congress's ideology. Let's listen in.
वो एक न्यूज़पेपर के इवेंट पे गए थे तो उनको बताना चाहिए कि उनको निष्पक्ष पत्रकारिता से क्या दिक्कत है। उनको तो वहाँ पर बोलना चाहिए था कि वो सच बोलने वालों और दिखाने वालों से क्यों इतना चिढ़ते हैं, उनके ऊपर एफआईआर क्यों कराते हैं। मुझे तो कोई तारीफ़ का कारण नहीं नज़र आया, पता नहीं उनको कैसे नज़र आ गया। मुझे तारीफ़ का कोई कारण नहीं नज़र आया और मैं तो उस स्पीच की मुझे तो बहुत ही निम्न स्तरीय स्पीच लगी।
शशि थरूर जी, देखिए, कोई आप किसी कार्यक्रम में जाएं, प्रधानमंत्री हो, एक शिष्टाचार में आप तारीफ़ कर दें, वो सब अलग बात होती है। कांग्रेस की तारीफ़ करते तो मैंने सुनी नहीं। पंडित नेहरू को तो वो बल्कि उनके बारे में तो आलोचना ही वो करते सुनते हैं। वो दूसरी बात है कि तथ्यहीन आलोचना करते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि फिर आपका जो मूल है कि आप कांग्रेस में क्यों हो, वो टूट जाता है। इसमें अगर आप कांग्रेस की विचारधारा में नहीं विश्वास करते हैं और उसके विपरीत खड़े हुए किसी की तारीफ़ करते हैं, तारीफ़ करना आपका अधिकार है, पर मुझे लगता है उस पार्टी में रहना आपके लिए कम से कम उचित नहीं होगा।
Okay, so Sandeep Dixit coming out and saying that if he so wants to praise Prime Minister Modi, then he should just join the BJP. A lot of other Congressees are also saying the same thing. Kapil Komireddy, author, is now joining us. Sumant Raman continues to be with us, and Sanjeev Srivastava is also continuing to be with us. Mr. Komireddy, let me start with you first. I mean, I've listed out the number of times Dr. Tharoor has praised Prime Minister Modi. He is of the belief that in politics, it shouldn't be so brutal and so acerbic to each other that you forget political niceties or courtesies, and wherever praise needs to be given, needs to be given. That's his view. But has it, in your view, gone, too far this time around? He's just constantly praising the Prime Minister, and still he is part of the principal opposition party.
Right. I've looked at the tweet, and shorn of the sensationalism superimposed upon it by the press, it struck me, as I was telling a friend this morning who sent it to me, it struck me more like a summary of the Prime Minister's speech, more like a memo of what he said. It was somewhat uncritical. One of the things the Prime Minister said, he accused the Congress party of being infested with Muslim League elements. He cast the principal opposition party of the country as an existential threat to the country. That also, I think, should have been included. But Shashi Tharoor has been a diplomat for almost 3 decades, was a diplomat at the United Nations. I think he tends to err on the side of caution. He likes to build bridges. And I think this tweet, more than anything else, evidenced that tendency in him. I don't think he is an apologist for the Prime Minister, certainly not an apologist for the Prime Minister.
But for the last 15 years, he's been a politician. I mean, so he's more a politician now than he's a diplomat. And he's batting on the other side. He's on the other side. And the fact that the Prime Minister used that phrase, Congress has become the Muslim League of Indian politics. I mean, Mr. Tharoor comes from Kerala, where the Muslim League is the second biggest party in the alliance that he is part of. I'm not sure how he views the Prime Minister's comments.
You'll have to ask him that. All I can say is that he spent a lifetime in diplomacy, and as you say, the past 15, 16 years in politics. He's got a body of work to defend it. And I think he's a more eloquent champion of the values that Congress claims to espouse than the current leadership of the Congress party. He's a very effective champion of those values. And I think it's unfair to call him out as an apologist for the Prime Minister simply because he is not consistently he hasn't cast himself as a lackey of the leadership of the Congress
Sanjay
party.
Srivastava, do you
That
agree
is his real sin.
with that view of Mr. Komireddy, or is that too benign a view? Because there's also this political view that, you know, he's just waiting for the party to throw him out because then he can keep his MP-ship, and he's going to be MP till 2029. Otherwise, you know, if he leaves on his own, he'll have to give up his Member of Parliament seat. And he knows by the end of this term, he would have been MP for 4 terms, 20 years as an MP. I guess, you know, you also feel that maybe the party may not give you a ticket the next time around, or even if they do, it's a tough seat. It's not an easy one. He's had very, very close contests trying to win that seat in the past as well. So what's going on, Sanjeev?
So half of what I was trying to say, I think, Zakka, you have already paraphrased it so well. Hey, see, Mr. Tharoor is nothing but not enigmatic and interesting, if you may. So he's a character in himself. And all these things which the previous speakers... I personally think Shashi Tharoor has all the right to speak his mind. And he has all the right to praise the Prime Minister as a citizen of the country, as an individual, and as Congress still remains a democratic party. You tell me, can any leader, MP, praise Rahul Gandhi like this and remain in the BJP? He would have been shown the door the first evening itself. So some credit needs to also be given to Congress party, whether it's their majburi, it's a compulsion. I think Shashi Tharoor faces a problem. From a distance, I think he's a very popular leader in Kerala. He should have been projected as a chief ministerial candidate. But because he fails the loyalty test time and again, last time he failed was not just these instances of praising the Prime Minister, but also contesting against Mr. Kharge for the president's post. So he obviously feels that he's being robbed of a chance to lead the state of Kerala. So that's his problem. And I think he doesn't walk out because, as you rightly said, Zakka, he wants to retain his membership. He may walk out if he's straight away appointed as a minister in the Modi cabinet. Then he may be fine. I really don't know what he's eyeing at, what he's looking at.
No, I've spoken to him on the record, I think about a few months back, and he said, you know, I have 11 books to show you which side my political leanings are on. So every time you ask him this question on the record, he says, there's no question of me joining the BJP.
Zakka, because he cannot walk out of the BJP and walk out of the Congress and join the BJP in Kerala. BJP hardly exists in Kerala.
Yeah, that's
his
the other
political
problem,
future in Kerala is between Communists and Congress party. So he's just playing an interesting game. I think he just keeps teasing.
No,
so some of it is true also.
So Sumant Raman, what is, let's war game this, right? I mean, what is his end game here? He praises the Prime Minister, and every time the praise, I think, is a little more effusive than the previous time. I mean, it's almost like you're throwing the gauntlet to the Congress High Command and saying,
Absolutely.
well, you know, if you want to sack me, then sack me.
Expel me. I think he's pushing clearly. It's look, Mr. Shashi Tharoor is nobody's fool. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's been a diplomat for God knows how many decades. So every sentence that he speaks, he knows exactly what the intention or what the message that he's trying to convey is actually going to be. Look, Zakka, had he been critical of the Congress High Command, that would have been a separate issue altogether, right? That would have been seen as, you know, being a true, a Democrat, speaking his mind, and actually, that may have even won him friends within the Congress party, though they could not have come out and said so. The point is, he praises Mr. Advani. He praises the Prime Minister not once, not twice, not thrice. Even when the Prime Minister has made a virtual accusation calling the Congress a Muslim party. Now, the point really is that clearly he is saying, throw me out if you dare. Because if you don't throw me out, I'm going to continue down this route.
Okay, so again, let me just war game that. Okay, let's say the party crosses that bridge and says, okay, we can't have you, praising the Prime Minister virtually every week or every other week. We're going to throw you out. Then what happens? What happens next? Does he join the BJP? Does the BJP need him? Does he need the BJP? What happens next?
Look, with the BJP, there is never a question of not accepting somebody who comes. We have seen people of all kinds of reputations, all kinds of criminal records having been cleansed after they joined the BJP. So Dr. Tharoor is far from being somebody whom the BJP would not countenance at all. Almost surely that option from the BJP side exists. Whether Dr. Tharoor wants to go there or not is a different issue. But clearly, he is angling for something. If it's not a post, he's going to be 70 now, Zakka. He's 70.
Yeah.
So clearly, he's angling for something, and he probably feels that there is not much future left for him in the Congress
So
party.
is that what it is, Mr.
And one more
Komireddy,
thing,
as I
just
get the final word? Yeah.
One sentence on that, Zakka, where I disagree with Sanjeev. The Congress never had the intention of projecting him as a chief ministerial candidate for the simple reason he is not a mass leader in Kerala. He is not, say.
No. No. One second. Let me put my. I mean, because I have sort of, my family's from there. I don't think it's the fact that he's not a mass leader. I think he is a mass leader in Kerala. If they projected him as the face, they would have won. One is the loyalty part, and two, I think the problem that Dr. Tharoor faces in Kerala is the state unit doesn't like him.
And
I don't think the state unit wants to cooperate. That's the real reason. Not that they would not have won the election. They would have, in fact, won a bigger majority if they projected him. That's my view. Anyway.
Sorry.
Sanjeev,
the biggest mass leader from Kerala, K.C. Venugopal, runs the Congress party nationally. So just forget about mass leaders. Tharoor is definitely a much bigger mass leader than Venugopal.
I mean, when you're comparing to Mr. Venugopal, yes, agree.
Mr. Komireddy, I'll give you the final word. Again, I'm coming back to that moot point, which is that at least the other two speakers are of the view that he seems to be angling for something. What that is, we don't know. We can't speak for him. But it's clear from his pronouncements that, this is an untenable situation. This can't go on forever.
Well, they seem to know more than I do about what's happening in Shashi Tharoor's head. All I can say is that if he does leave the Congress party, can you really blame him? This is a man who has been assailed for half a decade for the simple reason that he's sharp, talented, brilliant. In 2019, a number of people counselled Rahul Gandhi to appoint him leader of opposition, but they didn't because they feared he might outshine the dynast, the heir. And they've marginalised him. He was attacked as a guest artist. He ran an election. He forced upon the Congress party the democratic election, which the Congress now brags about. But at the inauguration ceremony of Mallikarjun Kharge, not a single speaker even mentioned his name. They didn't have the grace to acknowledge him. This is the man who received more votes as a runner-up than anyone in the history of that party, and they didn't have the decency to acknowledge his name. He is possibly the most experienced foreign policy hand in the opposition, in India perhaps, more even than our current External Affairs Minister. Congress did not put his name forward for the delegations when the government invited names from the Congress. It has repeatedly treated him with pettiness, vindictiveness, with a sort of paranoia that he's going to eclipse Rahul Gandhi. I don't know if he's going to leave. I'd be disappointed if he joined the BJP. I don't think he will join the BJP. Okay. I don't think he will join the BJP. I'm willing to wager he will not join the BJP. But I honestly, as one of the panelists said, K.C. Venugopal, the Rasputin of our age, is the mass leader in Kerala. I simply do not see why Shashi Tharoor doesn't qualify as a chief ministerial candidate. This is a man who's won 3 elections. And I recently was abroad. I was in Eastern Europe. And the only politicians, I was traveling through 6 different countries, meeting the leadership there, the only politician they recognized, apart from the Prime Minister, is Tharoor, going back to his UN days. This is a man whom they will not name as part of a delegation to go abroad. So this is a man who's endured a lot of offensive remarks about him, a lot of insults, all because he's good. I mean, imagine being a party that exists to provide subsistence to one family. I mean, it's almost insulting. That's the conversation we ought to be having.
Okay, we'll leave it at that for now, though. Thank you very much, Mr. Komireddy, Sanjeev, and Dr. Sumant Raman for joining us. This is a fascinating conversation. And I want to say this on the record. I mean, I have interviewed Dr. Tharoor a number of times. I've been pressing him for an interview virtually every day, every week. Hopefully, he'll speak to me sooner than later. But every time we've spoken, he has made it categorical, on record, off record, that he has no intentions whatsoever of joining the BJP. We'll see. Politics is a long road. It's a long, winding road.